Hello, refiners, and welcome to the seventh section of the We Need a Voice podcast. I'm Neil G, and I'm joined as always by my fellow refiners from the WNR department, David L, Marie S, and Jose L. And apologies for the tardiness of this episode, because apparently my outie went on holiday for a week. Well, I hope I went somewhere nice, but I don't seem to have a tan. So, this is going to be a much quicker run through episode 9, seeing as we've already seen the finale at this point. But the OCD in me would not let me skip an episode, and I promise this will be a much shorter episode. And so, as you said, rather than run through the plot in chronological order, we're going to take a look at each character's arc in this episode. But first of all, as usual, what did we think of the episode? Marie, what did you think of episode 9?
I liked it, obviously, but this episode did really feel like getting everyone in their starting positions for the final episode. Like, I wouldn't never call an episode, Severance episode filler, but it was just like one of those where you're just like, okay, this is where they need to be for the finale. Now we're also getting a bit more answers. There's like far less speculating going on in these last few episodes.
And David L.
Yeah, I was happy to be back with our besties again.
Yeah.
Like our core refiner, the core team, all back together. We got to see where everybody was. I do agree with Marie that I felt like it was bringing just people into their spots ready for finale. It set it up really nicely. Yeah, I think Mark's I feel like Mark's story is obviously the key story throughout this entire season, and it did feel like everybody else's storyline sort of took like a little bit of a back seat maybe in this one, aside from maybe Irv's. Everyone else took like a little. Dylan, you know what? I've just remembered lots of things that happened in the episode. Dylan.
I was just gonna say I wouldn't say that, but
Jose L.
Just generally, I think it was a great episode for all the characters. I think we saw some really big highlights. I mean, personally, for Mr. Milkshake, I loved that moment he had with Drummond. And, you know, Irv and the dog and on the train station, just having that, you know, sad moment with Bert. You know, I like to see side characters get their moments. So, and it adds to the mystery of what's going to happen next season.
See, side characters. That's what I was on about, where it feels like they're side characters and not like the main guy.
I mean, but they are. Like, I mean, it's still Mark's story.
Cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like the cast of Friends where everyone should be paid the same and all that sort of thing,
True.
you know?
Yeah.
Where all of them are the main characters.
We still don't know a whole lot about Irv.
I would say, yeah, overall, this is it's a setup episode. It's bringing all the characters back together after 2 episodes that were kind of standalone bottle episodes. You know, we had the Cabell story, we had Gemma's story, and we like everyone was saying, that was one of the negatives people did have. I mean, they're both brilliant episodes, and there isn't a bad or filler episode of this show. There just isn't. But you're looking at it going, we have missed the whole cast. And even in the earlier episodes, you didn't have all the characters in one episode. So it did a really good job of bringing all the threads of all the stories together. And I think, like you say, the bit before the credits was great because it just tied you in with everything. You're like, oh, holy shit, yeah, we needed that. Oh, we needed that. It's not a bad episode of Severance, is it? There just isn't.
No.
Let's get into it. As we said, this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about particular characters and where they started and where they've gone throughout this episode. So first off, let's start with the first character we see in this one, Helena swimming. James Egan is one creepy fucker, isn't he? Like, he's so creepy, that guy.
Unnerving.
Yeah. I mean, great acting.
Just a quick side note, I saw an interesting theory about Helena right here, and it revolves the entire episode because we don't really see too much of what she's doing. But some people suggested that was Helly, and somehow she had escaped and was trying to fool her dad, which I thought was ingenious, but I'm not sure there's a lot of weight to that.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from on that because it was the whole eggs thing. It was like...
Who eats eggs like that? To be honest, out of all of Severance, that is the most disturbing scene ever. Who eats eggs like that? It's just creepy. Like,
I think that kind of emphasizes the whole cult vibe that goes on with this family and the company itself and the fact that he added, I wish you would eat them raw. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a mindset for sure that you just don't do things normally.
Yeah, and you can just hear the disappointment in his voice. Because like that was a reference to like Here's original breakfast, where what was it, like 6 raw eggs in the morning, or is that Gaston?
Oh, okay.
Something. He has raw eggs and coffee. That was his breakfast because that was one of the calibration questions in the when they wake up on the table. What is his favorite breakfast? So everyone knows it.
as a camera person, when you're doing a sound test, that's literally the question you ask someone. So what did you have for breakfast then? Which is literally what you ask people when you're trying to
Interesting.
get a mic level every time.
Oh
And
wow.
then normally you get people going, "Oh, I haven't ate yet. Oh, I've only just got your
Yeah.
mic level." You're like,
The amount
okay,
of times I've done that, bro.
yeah. Also, that is a very nice house, and I would quite like it. I liked the architecture.
I found
What?
that it's actually a wedding venue.
What really?
Hmm. It's a wedding venue in New Jersey.
And when are you going to shoot a wedding there, Jose?
I
When
mean,
someone books you in New Jersey.
I feel yes, wedding photographer for hire. Yeah.
Next up, creepy plates. What was up on those plates, man? They was just so creepy and weird.
Again, why would you have why would you eat breakfast off that? It's just that I mean, I wouldn't want to be in that house. It kind of reminds me about the line from Ferris Bueller where like describe the house as like as a museum. It's very beautiful, but you can't
Oh,
touch anything. It's like that's what that vibe of the house is. It's
yeah.
just not cozy vibes.
But also, he only drinks tea. He doesn't eat. And he just wants to watch her eat. I mean, it's all levels of
That's
creepiness.
I was trying to make the face of the plate just then. If
Good work. Good work.
spot on, spot on.
I was just going to say the music here is awesome and disturbing as well. Like great work by Teddy Shapiro, who does all the theme musics for the show. But oh, it's so good. And then of course we get Helena on the road, and you get that big reveal shot from Helena's house. Now I wasn't sure what this is, and there was a bit of debate. Some people were like, "Oh, it's obviously this," and I was like, "I'm not sure," because you see the Lumen sign, sorry. And is it a water tower or was that the actual Lumen headquarters?
I
No,
just
it's a
assumed
water
it was a water
tower.
tower.
It is a water
looks like
tower.
a-
Okay.
It looks like a water tower, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it also seemed like it was the headquarters nearby.
Oh yeah, it's a whole town, isn't it? So I
Yeah.
figured she wasn't too far away. But I was just looking at it going, is this something we haven't seen before? Because when you do that big pullback reveal shot, usually what you show in it has some big importance of when you show in the middle of the frame. So I was kind of like, oh, what is this? And
Do you
yeah,
guys have we? I don't know if we've ever spoke about this, but do you guys think the little droplet is a water droplet or a blood droplet?
See, I've seen this float around online because I always thought it was a water droplet.
Same, same.
But then Lumen is a pharmaceutical company, so blood droplet would actually make
Oh.
sense.
Or it could just be a medicinal droplet, kind of like the drug that they take.
True.
like eye drops.
Eye
Yeah, I
drops.
mean either would work, but it's just interesting that
Yeah.
they.
It's a liquid
yeah.
of some kind for sure.
And of course, with Helly, once she gets into the office, and she's definitely Helly, we're almost 99% sure she is. She's looking for Irving's clue and the exports floor now.
She's first looking for Mark and then confronts
That's it, because he's
Milkshake
not been
in the office.
Yeah, she gives him some sass, which
She
is
gives
funny.
this
'Cause-
some sass, yeah.
yeah, it's so funny because when the employees give him sass, you're like, "Yeah, bitch," and then Milkshake gets
He gets
sass
shit from his
his-
bosses, doesn't he? And you're like,
God damn
"Oh."
it! I feel
Aw.
bad for him now. So it's really interesting when she does that. I still
I
felt like
wondered
happy
here, right?
that she was rude
This
to
is
him.
one question I had was
So
like,
it's an
well, if
interesting
Helly
dynamic.
finds something and goes somewhere she's not supposed to go, how would they stop her? I mean, could they just use like, I don't know, like a reverse Glasgow block on her or something like that, where they go, oh, actually, no, you're Helena again because Helly shouldn't see this or shouldn't know this.
Well, I feel like it depends if, kind of like when Gemma tried to escape certain floors, she would just turn back to herself, and then she would like.
I mean,
"Ah,
there
crap, I
was
have to
there
go
was a
back."
theory that
And
for
so
this
there's
episode
that
that
kind of barrier
Helena
for
had
her.
decided that she wanted to become a Rini because she was happier with Mark
Hmm.
and doesn't want to be an Egan. But how would that even work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything
that-
we see about Helena's life is just not appealing one bit. Like it's just
I mean, bar the house. I like the
I
house.
like the money side of yeah.
the money side of things, but other than that, like it kind of looks like a miserable existence, to be
I like
honest.
to I like to have my eggs and go for a swim in the morning. I actually do that. And so it's I was like,
But
I
You
am.
should just check the bank account out and do a runner.
Yeah.
That's-
I think it plays into why she pretended to be Helly at the Orpo because she just wants to be free, and so
But we weren't sure on that at that point, were we? It was like
Yeah.
we didn't know, and we still don't really know because we haven't really had like the opening scene with Helena. That's pretty much the most we've seen.
even
Helena
when
for a
she
while.
sat down with Mark and as the Audi in the restaurant, really don't know what her intentions are there
No.
either.
I think she wants a little bit more Mark.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that's it.
Bound chicka wow wow.
More unsanctioned erotic entanglements. Yeah.
Exactly, more of those.
so she's looking for the Xbox 4. Does that mean she's looking for Gemma? But she's trying to do it without Mark. So I was kind of like, what's going on here? Towards the end of the episode with Helly, James turns up there. And I was like, holy shit, it's Daddy. And I've just got in my notes, what the fuck? And I was like, does she say that? Or was that me thinking that when I saw that?
She said that. No,
she does say it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're right.
True Helly fashion. Like,
what the fuck? I think that's when you can tell it's Helly, because she's got a way of delivering like a kind of.
She gives no fucks.
Yes, Jose.
But
no
also,
fucks.
like, she doesn't care what her dad thinks of her because it's technically not her dad. If that, like,
She doesn't know who he is.
Like, Helena's existence is all about the Kier name and pleasing her father, whereas Helly, just wants unsanctioned erotic entanglements with Mark.
That's pretty much Helly for this episode. Let's move on to a man who has a big episode, Dylan. We go back to Dylan and Gretchen, and holy shit, she tells Outie Dylan straight away about it. I was like, okay, fair play.
I'm a little concerned that you're
time.
so like surprised by that, because that's kind of what you do in a healthy relationship. You kind of have an open, honest communication.
I did see a note where someone goes, so has Dylan just cucked himself? Someone had written.
In a way.
But then what she says to him is, he reminds me of how you used to be. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh.
That kind of hurts.
That stings. What also stood out to me in that scene is the smoothie. Did you guys notice that?
No.
Like, he's in the process.
Was it pineapple?
No, it wasn't.
Yes.
It was something green.
He's gonna make one, and then he throws it away because he's angry. And I was like, "Oh, you've made him not want to be healthy."
Exactly. That's it. He was like he's trying to make healthy choices, and then he just like dumps it all out and like puts the blender back. That's just like such an interesting touch.
Like me in the office when something goes wrong, you got the healthy food in the fridge. You're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to the corner shop."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time
I did
for
notice
donuts.
that.
Off to
And he
little
was just
bakery.
like upset because in a way he's jealous of himself. He's jealous of that Innie that's so productive and ambitious.
Well, he's not jealous. He basically threatens to kill his Innie here, and threatens to quit.
Yes.
And of course, my note for you, David, here, I was like, and Dylan's not working either. He's in his thruple room again. No one is working, David.
No,
No
like
one's working.
what I know, everyone like Mark's got the Cold Harbour file to do, right? What the fuck's everybody else doing?
I don't know.
Their
That
files
is-
for.
Yeah, but I mean, they do have files because like.
What are they working on? What they do?
That is also like my question. There's some like very great shots of like the empty offices here once again, and
Like you can see behind us right now.
Yeah, just like no one's fucking working. It's that is a question that
I feel
I've
like
been
if we
asking
just
a lot.
move a little bit here, this is the amount of work that gets on in this show this season. Look at this. There it is.
And so we're in the thruple room with Gretchen and Dylan, and I agree. He's like, was he glad for it?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
love
I just
Dylan.
remembered Gretchen.
You're cutting ahead. But,
I know, it just made me laugh.
But no. I love Dylan in this scene, like because he's so confident. He's so confident, and he's just
And then
like
he proposes.
I think that was a little fast.
Well, the thing is, like, Gretchen tells him that he's out, he's thinking of quitting, so this has to be over. And of course, then he proposes.
Yeah.
I
And then
have
she's like, look.
created
So cute.
the wedding ring.
I don't know. It's the
Aw.
finger lock.
It's
Hold up to the
wedding
camera.
ring.
There we go.
no, it's not a finger
One
lock,
ring
it's
to
the
rule them all,
tab that
David.
You have on like paper, like the pulley tab. You got
The Dunder Mifflin ring.
You do actually see like her heart like properly breaking in that moment, like when he proposes to her. And there was like this 1 minute where I genuinely thought she would say yes. Like I did think, because she was just so torn because he reminds her so much of her husband. And it's also a pretty awkward situation to be in. I think proposals in general are awkward. They're like my worst fear.
The sanctity of marriage.
You mean
like
bringing
won
attention
out
to
in that
yourself.
in that instance.
I think it's in a way she's kind of realizing, as much as it reminds her of what he was like, she still has a relationship with him now that's grown, and so that's when she realized she had to move away from him. Any Dylan.
So Dylan's not in a good place. And then, of course, we get later on, he meets up with Helly.
And now we can, and then it gets to the best Dylan moment ever.
Which is?
Do you guys? You've been doing it throughout the entire episode.
Jose? Yeah, I feel like you did it best.
What? Now I'm lost.
Gretchen!
Gretchen! Gretchen!
That
Sorry.
scream also, it gets me every time. It's so high pitched and
It
great.
was so
I know.
funny.
I know I'm supposed to feel bad, but it made me laugh.
It
And
did.
Oh, I
I
think
I'm
it was
like,
supposed to
we all
make you laugh.
did.
It was on. There's a lot darker stuff coming in the episode, isn't it? And like I say, Helly's like, hey, you might meet someone else down here. There's might have other events, and he's like, it's just the deadpan way he says, it's just O&D and the goat people. It's just like, and then of course Dylan, he's basically like, do you know what? Fuck it. So I was like, holy shit, didn't any Dylan
yeah,
wants to quit? Isn't that for him basically committing suicide?
yeah, in a
It
way.
is.
It's
So I was just
sad.
like,
He went
whoa.
to some dark places, yeah.
We don't even really know when he goes into the elevator where it's going, because some people wanted to say it was going down instead of up, or what. So like that was kind of scary, honestly, for me. I'm like, what's happening to him? Where is he going? Because
Yeah,
I honestly thought it was like maybe that was a potential for a twist. So I was kind of
That moment where he steps in, where you're like, "Well, is this the last?" For
is this
him,
a lot?
that could have been
Yeah,
his last moments of existence. Because if
Mhm.
it was accepted, then that's it, like done.
Yeah,
Like dude
yeah.
ain't going back to work anymore.
well, this brings us on to the just most heartbreaking and dark part of the show. We get a storyline. We catch up with Bert and Irv, and we see Radar as well. Radar's
Yeah.
alive. I was
Radar's
like,
alive. I
yes.
was like, where the hell did the dog go?
And yeah, so Bert has broken into Irv's house, and he's like reading all his notes. And again, like you've said in the past, Marie, Christopher Walken is just sinister. And the way he just looks at me goes, "You think of me as a low-level goon, or like an enforcer?" And then he says, "With Lumen, it's very specific language." I was like, "Oh, I want to know more about that." And then you kind of Herb's trying to like, back down a little bit. Oh no, no, look, I know you're not with them. And people, do not go for a ride with Christopher Walken if he asks you to go for a
Want
ride.
to go
Not,
for a ride? Oh, that was awful.
Especially when he says, yeah,
hey, you
not
want to go for a
that
ride?
wasn't
No.
menacing at all, David. But yeah, but especially if you say it as Christopher Walken.
Want to go for a
What,
ride? I
Christopher
can't do it. I
Walken?
can't do a
That
walking.
sounds like a southern accent for Americans.
Christopher
Yeah.
Walken.
Walking. I'm walking here.
Yes.
Okay, we're
But I
cutting
was
that,
just,
right?
I was just literally my next note is just go for a ride with me. No Earth capitals.
I mean, the drive itself was pretty like
Creepy.
ominous.
Oh,
I
Even
was
dude.
though,
so
I mean,
afraid of the dog in this moment. I genuinely was like fearful for the
Really?
dog.
I didn't.
Oh,
Even if the
wow.
worst, I was like, look, even if a Bert is going to kill Earth, he is not going to kill the dog.
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
I didn't
was
think that was
more
going to happen.
worried. Like I thought he was gonna just like, oh yeah, we're going to this field, and oh yeah, look it over there.
Like of mice and men him.
Yeah,
Tell
exactly.
me about the rabbits.
I know.
I mean,
So
for me,
sad.
the the cinematic touchstone of taking someone out to the woods for TV, the watermark has to be a certain Sopranos episode. Has anyone seen the Sopranos?
No, but I can tell you, I know what happens.
Hey, no
Of
spoilers.
course
This is Severance spoiler special.
No, but I'm not going to give away a spoiler. But when a character goes in, there's a character and they get taken out for a drive in the woods, and it's so ominous from day one, and you're just expecting it. But I think in that the character isn't expecting it. Whereas I think, and again, it's almost come like a shorthand. I've seen that scene done ever since The Sopranos did it so well, all 20, 30 odd years ago. Good God, that long.
Yes,
Uh,
we're old, Neil. We're old.
But since then, so many other shows have done a very similar scene, and it's just a shorthand now. Oh, yeah, do you want to come for a ride? We're going in the woods, and you're like, shit, that person's going to die. And so the people, the directors of Severance, they absolutely know if we show someone get into a car with Christopher Walken, and like they're basically, and he's just like, oh, the Sopranos vibes, man, with it. And like, I was like, Irv, no, I was like, the difference is here. I was like, Irv knows he could die here, but he just doesn't care. He's like okay with it. And the
Yeah.
music again, the music was so good here.
Yeah,
But I mean,
but then,
at this point, who thought Earth was going to die? Because
Yeah,
I did.
we all did. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we do get the reveal that what Bert actually did for Lumen. That
Yeah.
he was a driver because he says he never killed anyone, which is again
Mhm.
very difficult to
I don't
believe
believe you,
from
Christopher
a
Walken.
Christopher Walken
Mhm.
character. But the way he just said, like, I just drove people places and never asked questions. Like, that does still take like a certain type of person to
And they
do
never come
that.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I thought he was going to take him somewhere where Irv would no longer be.
Yeah.
Yes, Neil.
No, yeah,
Um,
I wasn't expecting a good outcome.
yeah.
No.
So the train station was a nice surprise in a way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I see the train, I was like, oh, what's on the train? I was like, oh yeah, of course. It's going to be Earth, hopefully.
Yeah.
And Bert gets Earth to the train station to send him away, to protect him, not to kill him.
Oh,
And just the scene, Marie, she's gonna wait down here. And the line, I like the idea that I could be innocent again, but my innocent part fell in love with you.
I actually am
And
gonna cry.
and
Such a
I want to
beautiful
have
scene.
it. I'm ready. We can't. And then my next note was, where is the dog? Oh, thank God he's taking the dog with him.
yes.
That
And then
that scene, I mean, it just like it hits so hard because like one thing that hasn't like we don't really know much about the world of Kier. Like we don't really know like what it means to be gay in that world. But the way like Irv was like talking about it, it like generally just like felt like you coming out at a later in life, which and the heartbreak that comes with that, and just the line he's like, "I've never been in love," or like, "I've never been loved."
Love, yeah.
Just like it just hurts so much, and like just being like never being able to be that vulnerable with someone and then finding that love, but it's not you, but then you still kind of is you. Oh, that was honestly
With
like,
yeah,
Christopher Walken.
yeah,
yeah.
it's cute couple, but yeah, if you like my notes, all my notes just say poor gay baby. That's all of my notes, and not saying it's like my poor gay baby.
Oh,
Like, just he's so precious in that moment. I just want to give him a hug.
But from this, I was kind of like, okay, so one, where is the train taking him? Because we've never really seen outside of Kier, bar Salt's Neck, and I feel like that's not far away from Kier anyway. But also, my question here is, do we think Bert was supposed to take care of Irv and didn't, or was he just supposed to? I don't know.
I think that Bert just wanted to keep him safe, and so he took him to the train station to get him as far as he could.
But do you think Bert was supposed to take Irv somewhere where there might have been someone waiting to get rid of him?
I don't
I
I
don't
don't
think
think he
so.
got the order yet, but I think he was
Hmm.
expecting to get that order. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
he knew that Lumen might come after Irv because like Lumen was suspicious of him, so he was like getting ahead of the situation and getting Irv out of town.
Yeah,
And of
I
course,
agree.
my last note with Bert and Irv, and we've got to see them again in the next series. We got to.
Oh hell
I
yeah,
mean, they're key cast members. It has to be.
yeah.
I
This can't
mean,
be the end of the story. It looks like it's the end of the story, but I feel like it can't be.
it can't be, but there are also so many unanswered questions still about Irv. Like you
Hmm.
don't know who he was taking the notes for, like who was he
Who
talking
was on
to
the
on the
phone?
phone,
Yes.
to exactly like what his agenda is. Also, John Turturro is just too popular to get rid of for the next season. Like
Mhm.
he's just such a beloved character that they will definitely bring him back. But yeah, but just the final this is just the shot that we see that little smile that creeps across his face. It's just as he rides into the sunset.
That train into the tunnel edit was superb. The
Yeah.
transition was amazing.
I mean, if you're talking about the transition edits, like in this episode, they were so good. So many
Oh,
like fade ins and fades outs. It was just
This second season, the cinematography has been wonderful. I
well,
can't.
what's cool is it's been pretty much the same cinematographer the whole show, which is Jessica Lee Gagné, who obviously
Yeah,
directed the recent episode.
the
So
Gemma
now
episode.
yeah, and that's great segue, Jose. It brings us on to Gemma, who we only really briefly see in this episode, if I've got my notes right. We
uh
see
yeah, we just see her a little bit. I don't think she's
it's
even
a
worth
very
mentioning.
no. I was just about to say we just see Malwa watching her, and he says the numbers aren't moving, and then it's get
Because
him
no
here
one's
now.
fucking working.
Well, yeah, exactly. No one's working.
They'd have finished Cold Harbour in the first fucking episode if they'd have got their asses out.
If they weren't doing unsanctioned workplace
Erotic
entanglements,
entanglements.
like it's really funny because all the changes they put in, like Milkshake put in to like increase efficiency, like the family visits or
Just
like
no,
the
milkshake. You're bad
ortho.
at your job.
Yeah, exactly. It was all of like for them to like increase efficiency, but shit, fuck all was getting done. Like,
Yeah.
And now this brings us on to Milkshake and Miss Huang. And we find out her name, Eustace Huang. Today marks the end of your Wintertide Fellowship. And again, the parallels with the previous episode with Cabell being a previous winner of it, and now it's Miss Huang. You're like, oh. But this kind of feels like a fuck you because
oh,
she's
it
been moved
so
to.
is.
It's like, yeah, it's definitely Milkshake
Yeah.
has like gone to head office, be like, yeah, I got a problem employee, fuck her off to the middle of nowhere, and she's been moved to the Gunnel Egan Empathy Centre in Svolvard, which is Norway.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, it's part of Norway. It's close to the North Pole, so it's literally at the ass end of the Earth. Like,
Yeah, it's cold. She sounds so much like a little girl when she says, "I thought I'd be finishing the quarter."
yeah,
She's a real girl.
yeah. I mean, now it's been confirmed that she is an actual child.
An actual child, yeah. And yet, it's funny because again, in the first few episodes when we've been there, we're like, "Oh, she's a new villain. She's like, is she like some weird, like old person in like a clone body or something like that? Is she Gemma? You know, there was all the theories, and no, she's just a child who works for Lumen. And I kind of like that's what I kind of like about the show. It's giving you answers now, and they're not crazy. It's answers that make sense in the telling of the story.
Yeah.
And if people have guessed it, great. And the simplest answer actually seems to be the way they're going, which is great because you're not giving into all this crazy theory and speculation stuff. And because of that, empathy awaits. But then he's still a dick, Milkshake, because he makes her destroy her ring toss game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
it
was
takes
mean.
so much satisfaction in it. Like that scene, his
Again.
smugness is like at 100.
Again.
Like
Again.
And the close-ups of the pieces coming apart.
the pieces of like the game like being smashed. Yeah.
Someone said that Apple were losing $1 billion a year on their TV division, and someone just said, "This is how you fix it," and it was just sell these, and it was the toy.
Nice. But it's something like stood out to me in this scene, and I was wondering because like the whole idea is like on the graduation of the fellowship, you need to give up something like you're attached to that you're loved. So for Cobell, was that the designs for Severance?
That might
Could
be a little much.
I mean, it's more extreme than smashing a stupid ring toss game, yes.
Yeah, but she
But at
probably
the
only
same
got once she
time-
came into the office. This is a perk,
Yeah.
I'd
But
imagine.
it's
Makes
like-
sense. Yeah.
But it does because you have to like give up something to move forward. And
Was
if
it the same program that she done? And
Yeah,
that,
it was the
yeah.
exact same
Wintertide,
program.
yeah.
I mean, that would assume that she did it when she was young. I think the amount of technology there that she came up with would be something you would become as an adult, or like you would dream up and be able to. Because she said she wrote code, and I'm like, as advanced as you are coming out of a factory, I think you need a little time to create that.
What are you saying? Women can't be geniuses, Jose?
Oh, Jose.
I mean, I
Oh!
think-
Oh! Dig
Yeah.
it a hole! Dig it!
No, I think just as general people, and it's like she came from a factory.
Yeah, I didn't get that, Jose. I got from like all the school yearbook and stuff from that episode where it was going into her backstory that she did it all quite early on in her year, like teenage years, is where she
Okay.
sort of developed a lot of the ideas for it.
Okay, I just thought she was just an underling, and she learned all this stuff as she was working for Lumen. But I just felt like being a teenager was too young to really come up with the idea for Severance and be able to write code.
Well, she's been with them for life, so yeah, we don't know what she did after the factory. Well, obviously, she won the Wintertide Scholarship that got her out of the factory, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we don't know, and I don't think we probably will, the next part of her life, like her early days at Lumen.
I want a full episode of her college career.
No, see, I don't. That's what Lost did when they
I'm
like
kidding.
let's. Okay. Good God. And so if I'm right with Miss Huang, then we see her for the last time getting on the minibus. And I was like, this is an episode of like goodbyes? Are we going to see these characters again? We've had Dylan potentially committing side. We got Miss Huang being sent off to Norway, and Earth's off on his train journey.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. There was a lot of goodbyes on this episode. And to be honest, I don't think we're gonna see Miss Huang again. Like, I think
No.
that this was like a farewell.
I disagree.
I hope she comes back, but it does feel like it was pretty permanent, that
Yeah.
one. Not like an Irv one where you're like, Irv's gonna be back.
Yeah.
But with
I'd
Huang,
say
yeah.
we'll see her eventually, but I don't think it will be something regular next season. I think you're going to see something about that area that she goes to.
What is the one thing that you destroy? That you had to destroy right now? I'd say mine.
yeah.
So mine would be this necklace. You know,
Oh,
if it can't be anything else, because I've had this necklace on round my neck for the past 20 years. So
wow.
this would be the thing that I'd have to destroy.
That's a story we must listen to. That sounds personal.
That's David's backstory standalone episode in season 3.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it'd probably be my camera because
hmm
I'm not just a photographer. I love photography. So that means a lot to me. It's not just a work device. Yeah, I'm very shallow.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, it's like the most precious thing to you. So it, for me, probably would be my ghost tickets, which apparently my Abby has gotten.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a Marie answer.
I mean, the sad thing is, Marie, you've never been to a concert.
I have. Oh no, my Innie hasn't.
None of us have been to a concert.
Yeah, but still, I got the connection through Severance. Like the love of Ghost is so powerful that even I feel it as an Innie, even though I have no idea who Papa is. But I still feel it.
It's kind of shallow. I suppose it's my film collection.
Yeah. Your
Well,
DVD
let's
player.
film.
You've only got one like TV or something that you've got to destroy, so you can never watch any of them.
Yeah.
Got the
I mean,
collection, but you can just never
Neil's a
watch them.
nomad. He has no possessions that he worries about.
It's just films. It's films. In the old days, it would have been my guitar. That's kind of the
Ah,
same thing. I mean, I've had the same guitar since I was like 17, and every sort of 10 years, I just go and get it like fixed up and
nice.
spray and like kept up to date. And now it's worth more money than it was originally because it's now a classic.
Wow. Wow.
I've also got a limited edition Fender Strat cheap copy. So like proper Fender Strats cost a lot of money. And so when I was a teenager, they did like a basic cheap version called the Silver Series, and it was like about I think it was like 200 quid. And they were like made in Korea, but they still had the Fender thing on it. And the
Ah.
one I got was a limited edition. There's only so many of them made, and it was black on black. So of course, being a teenager and loving metal and being like 16 and getting that guitar, I was like, and I've still got that upstairs as well in a bag. So
So if we
yes,
smash those two guitars, you would be
I would
sad.
murder you, Jose.
There we go. That's
That's
your
probably it then.
items.
Yeah, yeah. Um, moving on. So now we move on to the man of the
Milkshake.
episode, and perhaps the best
Milkshake.
new insult we get in ages. I mean, this should be on t-shirts. It should be everywhere.
Oh, they're probably on
I
shirts.
can't wait to use it in an actual sentence against someone someday. Yes, let's talk Milchek. And Milchek is getting a bollocking from Drummond. Fuck you, Drummond.
I mean, it's kind of fair because no one's fucking working. Like
Yeah.
they have a point.
He is not a good
But-
floor manager. He is not good at his job.
So does Milchek. He's got a point as well.
Yeah.
And Milchek basically says, fuck you to Drummond here.
Eat shit.
And he
Says, eat
starts-
shit.
No, not yet. He starts using the long words again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah.
Does he say shorter or shorter
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah,
that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, apologize for the word. And then my next note is just like, yes, Steph, turn to the good side, kick his ass. And then he says, devour feculence. It means eat shit, Mr. Drummond.
Yeah. Let me say it monosyllabically.
Oh,
That was the best part. The
some
emphasis.
very big Milchek energy from Jose there.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it's not my fault when Mark isn't at work, it's yours. I was like, yes, Steph, yes.
Oh, it was so fucking awesome that moment. Just the conversation was just like, ugh.
And then he finally gets Mark on the phone. And this is so good because he's like, you need to be here. And like, Mark's like, look, I'm not sick. I just needed the day, okay? We've all felt this, right?
Most relatable Mark line
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And the way that Milkshake just kind of was like taking it in, he actually cares.
I
He's
don't
just-
know. He doesn't care. I think he's thinking, what is the best way to achieve this aim? It's to give him the day. And because he said to him, but you'll be here tomorrow, right? And he's like, yeah. Work is just work, right, Mr. Milchek?
But then that look, because he said work is work, just work, and then Milkshake just has that look where it's like kind of clicks for
man.
him, where he's like, is work just work? Because for him, like it's his.
He's the
almost his
busiest man
entire-
in
Exactly.
Lumen, isn't he?
It's his entire existence.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think he has a very healthy work-life balance.
No.
Like, is he ever
No.
home?
You know what? A Milkshake episode. That's what I want.
I think
It's
we're
gotta
going to
be
get
coming.
one.
It's
It's
gotta be
gotta
like a
coming.
Yeah.
backstory or something like
We
that.
gotta see just
Yeah.
how he lives. Just I want to see his house.
Does he
Yeah.
live?
Does he live?
I bet it's fabulous.
I think we've seen that those theories that Innies, like the management is just Innies that have been made the full personality. So maybe
Really? Hmm.
you've never heard that.
No.
So yeah, it's an interesting theory, just saying that kind of like Gemma, we've seen her go through different situations, and I mean I think this was more before the Gemma episode, so now it doesn't make as much sense. But like the Innies are malleable and they're taught this Lumen philosophy, and so to make really good managers, they just take that Innie and make it the dominant personality.
So what? They get rid of the outie?
They get rid of the outie, and in one way or
Mm.
another. But then that doesn't really say anything because I don't think the management people have been severed, but we haven't
No,
seen anything to say for or against.
because we've seen Natalie outside of Lumin because we saw her
Mhm.
talking to Rickon.
We've
We've
seen
seen
Milchek outside. Have you
Yeah,
we've
we've
seen
seen
Milchek
Milchek.
out as well.
On his
Yeah.
cool motorcycle with his leather jacket.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome helmet, by the way.
Mhm.
So speaking of not being at work, then Mark's just not been at work. I love the line. Was it Devon's line again? Devon, just every line's a killer. Oh, I'm sorry. Was the wind? I couldn't hear you through the wind whistling through the back of your skull. And he's kind of being a bit of a dick on this drive, isn't he? Like you forget that
Oh
Outie
yeah,
Mark, is a bit of a knob.
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, actually, you're right. I keep forgetting that. I keep assuming, oh, he's just going through a lot, but no, he's an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone through a lot, which has kind of made him an asshole, but still, yeah.
Still doesn't
Yeah.
justify him being an asshole.
No.
Yeah.
And of course, they're on their way to see Cobell. Okay, so when they finally get up to meeting Cobell, and she asks him how he is, and again, like his
Love
delivery.
it.
Oh my God, so good. My wife's been held at Lumen, and I just had brain surgery in my garage. She's like,
In my
I
basement.
was like, yes, sassy Mark.
That's gonna be a shirt.
He is. I love Sassy Mark. He is so good at being sassy. Like Innie and Audi both
Yeah.
have the sass. They bring
Yeah.
the sass.
And then, of course, we wait for night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where we find out when Cobell says to him, she said, well, Cold Harbour, if you've completed it, she's already dead. And I was like, what?
Yeah. That's
We did kind of know that though, didn't we?
Yeah, I
From
said
Batman?
that we were gonna
Yeah,
kill
didn't
her.
they say in her episode that like you'd have to say goodbye to her after Cold Harbour? Like, wasn't that?
Yeah, so I guess it's implied from that, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just an optimistic guy. I was like, they're not killing her. I
Whereas
And then
me
I've
and
got-
David are the pessimists of the group, where we're just like, yeah, she's dead.
My next note is some big cis energy from Devon here. And she's just like trying to take charge and like, because again, trusting Cobell is still, sure. Now, I got a question about the birthing cabins, right? So, obviously they're sneaking him in, and the line they used to get her in is brilliant. She's one of James.
Yeah.
No one's to know. And she's like, holy crap. So, how many women has James? It's just so weird saying that name.
It's-
James.
it's
not
It's such
James.
a stupid
James.
name. It's such a
Yeah.
stupid name.
It goes with the whole
Like,
Stupid
James,
face.
James
the
is a
word?
stupid name.
No,
James.
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 There's
no
no
S.
S.
James.
no M.
Jame.
It goes with the
Yeah.
whole cult thing, you
Yeah,
know.
Yeah.
You
it's
pick
just
a dumb
exactly.
name.
It's a stupid name.
I just saw literally saw the gears turn in David's head then. We saw the light come on.
Yeah, it's
It
not
is-
Jamie. It's not James.
It's so
it's
weird, but
Jane.
yeah, it's very culty to have like multiple partners and like multiple kids. But it's also so like that line, like it
It shows
creeped
the
me
history.
out because we had like the scene with Helly where he was just like where he went to her and it's like, you tricked me, and his demeanor. And like what I thought, putting those two scenes together, is like, does he have an innie fetish? Like, is his fetish to get with innies? Because he has that vibe. Like, it's just, and the fact that
Ugh.
like when they're giving birth, they're the innies. So we had like the discussion of like, with the possibility of like Helena / Helly being pregnant and like what that would mean for innies and outies. And then like the fact that there's an innie cabin just for James's unsanctioned romantic entanglements. It's that just adds another creep factor to the whole situation. It just makes me go, ugh. Like,
So I got a question about Mark here. Now, he's had a few headaches and that, but there's nothing really more is mentioned about the reintegration here.
Yeah, the
no.
reunification kind of just evened out apparently.
This episode, I was just like, shouldn't him going through the process of integration mess with his innie and outie thing here in the cabin.
No, I was saying that confused me too because there was the one line for Devon where she was just like, "Am I me or am I just a copying machine?" Like a copier machine, and that I thought was very funny. But yeah, I don't know. Like the reintegration is like a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
Because you had the whole like waving the coat hanger thing over the head, and that's like, oh, this will reintegrate you. And then that didn't really quite work. And then you had like, we'll drill a hole into your skull, and then you'll immediately get reintegrated, but it doesn't look like it's done that either.
I just realized that too. Like he was going full blown reintegration, and then it just stopped.
They just not mention it this episode.
It felt since the lady whose name I've forgotten, Ragabi sort of left like said, I'm out, peace.
So's the reintegration storyline.
Yeah, since then it was like, okay, the reintegration's out as well because she's not actively working on it anymore.
Yeah,
she's not stopped actively working on it. So
I think we've got faith that it has to reappear. They don't like spend so long on the key concepts of the show and then just drop it.
Especially if Petey, he died because he didn't go through the process properly.
Yeah. And Mark's not really been through it properly either yet.
No.
And we haven't seen Cabell really do anything either yet. And like you say, as we come to the end of the episode, obviously Devon gets to talk to Innie Mark, and then as they brings him into the cabin, and you get a shot of a literal firewoman in front of her beehive. And again, that's brilliant because the last song in the previous episode was Firewoman by the Cult, and then you've literally got her in front of a fire. I was like, oh.
That shot was just so awesome.
It was so good. But if they're trying to put Innie Mark at ease, like that's not it exactly. Should they have like had her like maybe lounging on the sofa instead of just menacingly like staring down?
Fire.
That man was out of the cold and into the fire.
Yeah.
And of course, the last line is, "She's alive."
Callback.
Now, normally, this is the part of the podcast where we get into our predictions and what we think is going to happen in the finale of the next episode. But as some of our outies went on holiday, we've already seen the finale. So that would be a spoiler for the next episode we're going to record.
Some of our outies went on holiday, Neil? We all turned up for work.
Yeah. Well, me and David were the ones slaving away.
I don't know where I went. I haven't got a tan or anything, so it couldn't have been anywhere good. I haven't been abroad. I don't know. I don't even know the names of countries abroad.
Me and David actually got some work done without you guys distracting us.
I don't believe you. I'll have to check with our floor manager. So, yes, that's basically it for this episode. I'd like to thank my fellow refiners, David L., Marie S., and Jose L. Marie S., where can people find you in the Lumen Sphere?
They can find me underneath the heading Life on Mars. That is Twitter, Instagram, and what's the other one called? TikTok. That's it. You can, interact with my Audi on those, on various sustainable issues. And then you can also check out my Audi's other podcast, Two Girls, One Reusable Cup, for some sustainable shenanigans.
And David L., where can people find you?
They can find me at We Needed Roads on Instagram. And I've got a Blue Sky account where you can find me as Long D. I also have a Threads account, which I forgot about.
Go to Threads. It's an awesome place.
But I'm not going to... I'm probably David or something on there. David Long, probably.
Oh, just search David.
That's my name.
Fine.
David, it's not like it's a common name. Just search David.
I'll come up.
I'm
pretty well known, guys. I'll come up.
I think I have an account, I believe was the exact phrase. And Jose L., where can people find your Alty?
So just to let everyone know, I'm a photographer. So my Instagram is at Jose Lopez Photos. And my website is www.jlopezphotos.com. No. Oh my goodness. J Lopez Photos. Yes. jlopezphotos.com.
I think Jose is being reintegrated at the minute because he
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, he doesn't know his website. He's a fucking mole.
Jose, you're not a photographer. Your Alty is a photographer.
My Alty is a photographer, yes.
You need to get back to work refining. Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
And you can find my Alty at Needed Roads on Twitter. We are never calling it the other thing, Elon. You can find me at Neil Gregory78 on Instagram. And you can find me at the same address over on Threads. And everyone is finding me on Threads. It's bizarre. Like, Threads has been... I think the algorithm there, if you like a couple of Severance threads, all you then see it's threads about Severance. And that is a glorious social media platform to be on when it's just all threads about Severance. I love it. It's great fun.
Also, I suggest everyone go to TikTok to watch Marie dancing. It's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, Marie's last TikTok was fire. It was so funny.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, if you've been enjoying our Severed section of the We Need a Vote podcast, you can view all our previous episodes of the Severed section and over 120 regular episodes where we talk TV, we talk film, all on our channel over at We Needed Vote podcast on YouTube. And it's also available on Spotify. And could you believe it? There's actually video episodes on Spotify as well. So you can listen to us if you just want to don't see our faces and all our amazing reactions and the images I'm going to put over the show.
Don't watch us if you're driving, okay? Just you know, if you're
Listen.
like, yeah. Or if
Listen
you're
to
in
us.
the gym, like you can watch us in the gym. That's cool.
And remember, our favourite new insult when someone gives you crap, tell them to
Devour.
Speculate.
Speculate.
That was also
Great,
terrible.
guys.
But
Yeah,
good job,
brilliant.
guys.
I'll go with it.